everyone. We welcome all of you for another question and answer session today. And I hope all of you are enjoying the Health Revolution Summit 2021. And today we have our special guest, Dr. Nandita Shah, here, and who will be answering our questions. And we have Dr. Rupa Shah, who is the main organizer of this event. So today, be ready with all your questions which you would like to get clarified from the expert, Dr. Nandita Shah. I would like to give a short intro about Dr. Nandita Shah. Dr. Nandita Shah is the founder of Sharon, an organization devoted to disease prevention and reversal through nutrition and lifestyle changes. Sharon has been in the forefront of disease reversal in India since 2005 and has a team of doctors and nutritionists. Dr. Shah regularly does individual consultations and trainings for doctors and nutritionists. Dr. Shah believes that we can be our own best doctors most of the time. She received the prestigious Nari Shakti Puraskar 2016 in recognition of her work in the field of health and nutrition and is the author of Reversing Diabetes in 21 Days, and Amazon India's #1 bestseller. So we welcome you, Dr. Nandita Shah, for this session.
Thank you, Dr. Sarvanan. I'm so happy to be with both of you, and congratulations for all the work that you've done to put this together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so it all started in 2011 with a small group of doctors. We attended the training program conducted by Dr. Nandita Shah, the very first of its kind in India. And now we are happy to see a moment, a lot of medical doctors practicing and advocating plant-based diet. And this is really a huge success, and we feel really happy about this. And we hope that more and more doctors start incorporating this plant-based diet and lifestyle and advocate this to their patients so that everybody gets well and enjoy vibrant health and well-being. So today we have Dr. Shah here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write it in the chat column. We'll be asking her. So I have a few questions as well. So I will start with my questions. So Dr. Nandita Shah, could you please give some tips about how to transition to a whole food plant-based diet?
Okay. I would say the first thing is to understand why, because often we want to do something, but if we don't have a strong why, we will not. Many people turn vegan for health or environment or animals, but whole food plant-based is mainly for health, because otherwise if you're doing it for animals or the environment, you may be eating refined foods as well. Whole food plant-based is for health, and that's because, and this is related to my talk which came just before, but in the talk I was trying to explain what is the difference between whole food plant-based and naturopathy or any other pathy. And whole food plant-based means what did nature design for us? That means instinctively, if we were to go on a farm or something, then we would feel like picking fruits and vegetables. This is our instinctive food. And like all animals on the planet, we would eat it whole. Every animal eats their food whole, nobody refines it. And if we had and of course, the best way to eat it is raw, because every animal eats their food raw, and we are the only animal that cooks the food before eating. So ideally we should have whole plant-based raw, and of course nowadays foods are laced with chemicals because we are using pesticides, and if we could use just organic food, that would be the very best, because why should we eat and put poison in our mouth with every meal, right? So that's the essence. Like if we follow what nature or God designed us to eat and drink, it's really hard to get sick. Animals in nature fall sick very little and they know how to heal themselves. But we are building hospitals every day and pharmaceuticals, right? So that's why we should do this.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shah, for the wonderful explanation. And we have a few questions. So Divya Satvani is asking, good evening, Dr. Nandita Shah. Do you know of any case of type 1 diabetes cured?
Right. So, Divya, it's really hard to know a say cured. For example, I'm treating a type 1 diabetic case who was totally off insulin for so many, almost a couple of years. And now, as he's growing older, he's on 1 unit of insulin. Now, I would question that 1 unit of insulin, honestly, because 1 unit of insulin is so small that we don't need it. But the parents are so, they just go on looking at the blood sugar levels and they have a CGM and they are stressed about it. And so there's 1 unit of insulin going. But I can't say that it's cured for sure because it depends. Cure means it will never come back, right? And never come back, nothing will never come back because if we go back to the old lifestyle, it will come back. But if we stay on whole food, plant based lifestyle, and we enjoy it. We do it in a way that it's fun, enjoyable, and we don't feel like eating the wrong foods anymore. And after some time of changing, you will actually enjoy it because that's what nature designed for us, right? Then it should not come back. But that doesn't mean every case of type 1 diabetes can get cured. So, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease, and what it means is that the pancreatic cells are no longer working. Now, if they were working before and they stopped working, we should question how did they stop working, and whatever is the cause of that, we should remove. Actually, I'm going to give a free talk on autoimmune diseases next month, and you could go to Sharan website and just join it if you like, to learn more about this because there's not enough time to say everything right now. But so if we can understand the cause of type 1 diabetes, or if we can see that type 1 diabetes is controlled without any insulin for a long period of time, we could say it's cured. Actually, you can also check the whether the pancreatic cells are producing insulin or not with some tests to know whether really it's cured or not. And honestly, complete cure for any autoimmune disease takes years, years and years, because the body has to first get rid of all the antibodies circulating. That takes years, and then heal the cells. So that takes a few years. So it takes time. But there's always hope in type 1 diabetes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. So there is another question by Hoopish. The question is, I'm really confused because some say that fruits and vegetables can be eaten together and some say no. What is the correct way? Also, the current webinar of naturopathy shows whole food plant-based diet, which is cooked and baked. I do not understand. Could you please help?
Yes, so hopefully, what I was explaining before was that and I know this question came before I explained it, but the difference between whole food, plant-based and naturopathy, or like I was a homeopath, I mean, I'm still a homeopath in my mind and heart, but, you know, or Ayurveda or Chinese medicine, all of these are more natural types of healing, no doubt. But they are man made systems. Whereas whole food plant based, at least the way I practice it, it's like a God made system. We are going as close to what nature designed for us to do as possible. Okay, so that's the basic thing of whole food plant based. Now, fruits and vegetables, I generally don't recommend combining fruits and vegetables. And that's because if you look up anything on food combining, you will see that fruits, vegetables, or carbohydrates, or grains, or beans, they should be separated. Actually, they can even be deeper levels of food combining. And the reason is that if we eat very simple, very few types of food, then it's easy for our digestive system to digest. That means There's some people who even recommend eating not just only fruits separately, but mono fruits. That means if you're eating bananas, then don't mix apples with it, right? So my system is not that stringent. It's a little simpler. You eat fruits together because they have similar digestive properties. And there we separate the melons from other fruits because their digestive property is different. And ideally, vegetables are separate. Now, some people say, then why do you have green smoothies? And green smoothies are leaves with fruit. And the leaves, so I want to recommend a couple of books here to understand more about food combining fit for life. It's a beautiful book by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. And to understand more about, I was just going to say something. No, I lost that thread of thought. Anyway, yeah, to understand more about why green leaves are used in green smoothies along with fruit, I would recommend the book by Victoria Butenko, Green for Life. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Kapisha. So there is another question by Apota Arvind. If someone hypothetically was on a diet of vegetable oils, sugar, some protein, and a multivitamin, on a hypothesis, do you think such a diet can reverse diabetes?
I don't think that such a diet can reverse diabetes because the cause of diabetes, number one cause of diabetes is fat. There are several causes of diabetes, but number one cause of diabetes is fat, not sugar. Yet, if you just keep having sugar, then sugar is a refined substance. So, fat and lack of fiber is the number one cause of diabetes. So, this will not work. No.
Okay, thank you. So there is a question by Manish Mehta. The question is, can we eat all green vegetables without cooking in its raw form?
Absolutely. I mean, you can even eat bhindi in its raw form or turai in its raw form or what do you say, zucchini in its raw form. All the green vegetables are edible in their raw form. So, yeah, you can. And I want to answer that question that is coming sort of in parts, but can I take it? Hmm?
Yes, please. Yeah, about the fruit
Yeah.
diet.
As in, how long could we continue it? So, honestly, we recommend whole food plant-based diet, which includes some grains and some cooked food. As a first step to transitioning from regular diet, which could be vegetarian or non-vegetarian or fast food or whatever people are eating these days, we just come to whole food plant-based. But once you're on whole food plant-based, since grains are not our real food, they will drop off or you'll start eating them minimally. And then automatically you will be in on stage 2, which is no grains. No grains means what will there be? Fruits, vegetables, beans, seeds, and maybe even nuts. Then there'll come the next level, which automatically happens, which would be 100% raw, right? And obviously, we can't eat grains raw, so it will be fruits and vegetables and seeds and maybe some nuts. And then automatically, if we continue in this way, then we'll go to the next level, which is pure fruit, right? And fruit can also mean botanical fruit. And honestly, if we're eating fruit, the best thing about it is that we are harming nothing because nature produces fruit for us. We are frugivores and we don't kill the plant when we eat only the fruit. But we even help the plant because we spread the seeds, right? And this would be the most symbiotic way of living and harming nothing if we could. But Everyone can't reach there. So if you go in a stepwise manner, you will be able to get to some level, maybe not complete fruit. But I question going on only fruit diet and then coming back to regular diet. So if you can't sustain it, don't go there, in my opinion. Go as far as you can that you can sustain, and then automatically you will get better and better, right? And if you're on a fruit diet, you will not need any supplements and you will not have any deficiencies except for probably vitamin B12 and D. And that too, because we're not living totally in nature. Now, proponents of fruit diet say you don't need vitamin B12 and D. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but I would always test, because I have seen cases of severe vitamin B12 and D deficiency with such severe symptoms that once you once you supplement with B12 and D, they get well. So why should we go that far when, given that we're living in cities or we're living with mobile phone towers around us, we might as well take vitamins if they are necessary. Does that answer that question? I think Divya was asking this.
Yes, yes, Dr. Shah. Thank you for the explanation. And I totally agree with your views because these days we see people with B12 deficiency in spite of following a healthy diet, in spite of following a healthy plant-based diet. It's better they take care of this as you recommend. At least if they check the levels and then get your guidance, that will be helpful. Yeah. So there is another question. So by Divya Satlani. So regarding the fruit diet, so I thought I can just ask this. It's in the same sequence. Diabetic levels are even below normal after fruit diet. So she's asking about this.
No, absolutely, because fruit does not cause diabetes. So there's somebody called Gaurav Goel. He's not a doctor, but he's teaching people how to be on fruit. And there are diabetics who have got well just by eating only fruit and nothing else. I've seen this also in our 21-day retreat, where we allow people to either have a regular meal or a fruit meal. And many of them go on fruit meal, or at least they have two fruit meals every day and one cooked meal, and the blood sugar levels come down. So, fruit is always good, and fruit is never the cause of diabetes. But fruit juice not allowed, right? No refined foods allowed. We have to eat it the way nature or God has given it to us. I see one more question. Do whole food plant based support intermittent fasting? May I answer that?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. So, what is intermittent fasting? And intermittent fasting means not eating for 16 hours and eating only for 8 hours. Now, imagine if we were living in nature, or even if we just went on a camping trip in nature, and we didn't have lights. Then we could only eat at sunrise and we could not eat after sunset. This is intermittent fasting. So, this is our natural way of living. That's all, right? And we don't necessarily have to count 16 hours exactly. But basically, if we would eat from sunrise to sunset, this would be intermittent fasting. And this is what we should be doing.
Yeah, very simple and very good answer. So I see so many people getting confused with this intermittent fasting. They actually torture their bodies, and they do the intermittent fasting and then get back into unhealthy eating. So what you have suggested now is very simple, just following nature's rhythm and following the body wisdom. I think that will help. And in my experience, as I have learned in through my own experience and also in Peace versus Pills workshop, as I always say, eat when you feel hungry and drink when you feel thirsty. I've been following that very sincerely, and I could, see that intermittent fasting happening so naturally between my dinner and breakfast. It happens most of the days. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
So there is another question by Pota Arvind. I think this is a follow-up question to the previous one. A follow-up to my previous question, the answer directly contradicts the results of a randomized controlled trial conducted by Roy Taylor, who showed that people who were put on a diet that I described in previous question, were more than 50% of the participants reversed their diabetes and maintained it for 2 years. How does your hypothesis explain these results? And there is the link to the study is given here.
Okay. So, look, I haven't done this study and I can only talk about my own experience. And I've seen that within days, not weeks or months, within days, cutting out dairy and cutting out fat, blood sugars come down, right? And what I've understood is that if someone just goes through bariatric surgery and they have diabetes, then when you do bariatric surgery, automatically you can eat less. And because the common bile pancreatic duct doesn't come into play, you don't get enough bile, so you can't digest fat. So you eat less, you can't digest fat. People get rid of diabetes with bariatric surgery. That means that fat is one of the major causes of diabetes. And I've seen this over and over and over and over again. And now it's years that I'm treating diabetes. So my policy is that I don't believe any study because I believe what I see in front of my eyes. And anybody can do any study if they're paid for it. And everything can be written down once there's money on the table or under the table. So what we have to believe is what we see. Now, here's what I would suggest to you. You do a few months of eating fat and whatever diet you were suggesting, and then you do a few months of whole food plant-based diet and see where you feel better, and also see what happens with diabetes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that answer. So I have one more question from my side. So this is one common question most diabetic patients ask me. So there are many are afraid to consume tuberous vegetables like potatoes and beetroots and carrots. So what would be your advice regarding these?
Eat as much as you want and enjoy them, because when you have all the fibers, so I would say don't peel your carrots or beetroot or potatoes, or let me put it this way, don't peel anything that you can't peel with your bare hands, but eat as much as you want, because this is even better than eating grains which are not our food. We can eat potatoes and beetroot and carrot without any. So, honestly, healing is fun, healing is delicious, and it's not a problem. Everyone can do it. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Dr. Nandita. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Dr. Nandita Shah, for being here today with us and answering all the questions. Since we run out of time, we'll have to wind up this time. If you have more questions, please do keep sending in the question section. Replays are available. Forward them to your friends who can still see them now. And well, keep attending the event and learn a lot. Thank you very much. Namaste.
And just
Thank
before we end, I do want to say that we had a special promotional 20% off of all our online programs and consultations. If anyone's interested, it's there for a month. Bye. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nandita, and thank you, Dr. Rupasha. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.